Okay, it is late. It is 8:30. Again, my plan is to spend 30 minutes prepping all 3 meals for tomorrow and cleaning up so I can get a quick shower, have a cup of tea, and do a little reading before I hop into bed early tonight. So that is the plan. And I have a list made out of what I'm making and what I need to do tonight. So here we go. I am not doing any real cooking to prep these 3 meals for tomorrow, but I'm prepping everything, so I just have to jump in to like actually do the cooking, because I'm finding I am having a teething baby, and we all know how that goes at night, and then homeschool, it just feels like a lot of chaos, and the one thing I can do for myself is to prep for the next day as much as possible. And I usually normally do this for sure in the morning. I kind of know what breakfast is. I prep my coffee pot, so I just have to grind and hit start in the morning. And I normally do those things, but tonight I'm prepping all 3 meals, so tomorrow goes a little bit seamless. We have our big once a month grocery shopping coming up in a few days, and the fridge is kind of dwindling down, which just makes a little bit planning ahead a little bit more important, because there's not as many things in the fridge to like look at and just, wing it. So I am going to prep breakfast, lunch, and dinner. No cooking involved. I'm just doing some prep work. If you haven't ever blended up your oats to make overnight oats, I suggest you do. It changes the texture than normal overnight oats. It's more pudding-like consistency and less chunky, and my children enjoy that better. And our favorite combo I like to make is the chia seeds, maple syrup, and I like to do peanut butter powder. I get it from Costco, but I always like to have a protein with breakfast to make sure that you're keeping your blood sugar regulated. And then the children are free to put additional toppings on in the morning. We did granola and canned peaches, and I have some children that like dried fruit in there or coconut flakes. There's endless possibilities. The other thing I prepped, and then for lunch, I was prepping this lentil soup. Now, I did a double batch because I wanted to put some in the freeze dryer to run, and so I didn't normally do my sauteed carrots before dumping in all the dried ingredients and broth and lemon juice in the Instant Pot. But when you freeze dry, you have to be careful with the oil content. So I just skipped carrots altogether because it was one less thing I also had to prep tonight. So I just did the dry ingredients and put it back on the shelf. And then I went into making a sourdough focaccia bread. And in hindsight, I should have just left the batter out on the counter covered instead of putting it in the fridge, because it slowed down fermentation. The bread ended up working out, and it all came together just fine. The next thing I did was get out some meat. The only meat that was defrosted was steak, so I got those out to go ahead and marinate. And I know a lot of people like this steak seasoning brand, and I honestly wasn't a fan. And I was picky about looking at the ingredient list because not every variety has a good ingredient list, but I picked this one up, and I believe it was the truffle. And we're not a huge fan. I've tried it on a couple different things. We're using it up. Not a big fan. Probably won't purchase again. But I got those marinating and back into the fridge. I wanted to prep some potatoes also, but I went into washing my dishes because I had raw meat and everything, and I got everything washed up, and it was just in time for sweet baby boy to wake up. Well, unfortunately, I didn't get to everything I wanted. I still have a couple dishes. and I did not get to my potatoes to go with our steak. But it is 9:07, so I didn't do too bad. I got all 3 parts of the main meals made. And I'm gonna sit down with the little boy, rock him back to sleep. And my encouragement is if you can prep ahead, it just makes tomorrow so much easier. There's always worries for tomorrow, but if you can do something for your future self, you're gonna thank yourself. I promise. And as a busy mom with many little kids, meals, everyone eats, everyone gets hangry. So if you have that prepped, or at least know what you're going to make and have things out and ready, it makes the world a difference, I promise.